once now. Thank you, guys. Really great to see a lot of you. We've got lots of people joining from different parts of the world. I was actually pleasantly surprised by the number of people that are interested in this topic. I see people from Australia, people from Asia, and we have quite a few people from Europe, although they'll be watching the replay. We've got people from the Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland, Spain, and we also have some people from Canada and from Peru joining us. So whether you're joining us live or watching the replay, welcome. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sonia and I'm your guide today. I'll be guiding you through how to move forward in business with confidence. And what I'll be sharing with you, it's not just theory, it's a lot of lived experience. And I'll share some really practical insights and real life stories with you. Because I've been doing a lot of growing and I've also been stuck a lot. And I've learned to trial and error how to move through this stuckness and, use stuckness as a launch pad instead of a wall. And just to give you a tiny bit of background, I've traveled the world, lived in many different places. I've worked for global companies, led global marketing teams. Marketing is actually my background. And I've had my own businesses since 2009. So for those of you who know me, I am all about very practical and easy to implement solutions. So today I'll be sharing with you 5 empowering strategies that you can take with you today and start implementing in your business straight away. And at the end of this masterclass, I will also have what I believe is a really valuable gift for you. So looking forward to sharing that with you. Are you guys ready? And if there's anything that resonates with you throughout this masterclass, please drop a yes or put up your hand in the comments. So feeling stuck. What are actually the signs of feeling stuck? Now, you might lack motivation. You might find it hard to get out of bed in the morning. Things that used to go easy take a lot more time or a lot more effort. You might procrastinate. You might not be sure whether you're doing the right things. Basically, your motivation is down. And it could be because you don't really know where you want to go next. It could be because you don't really know what your steps are, or it could simply be you're not on the right path, or there's simply not enough challenges enough. Now, another sign that you might be starting to feel stuck or are stuck, and this is a more sneaky one, is a lack of enjoyment. It's things that you used to enjoy and used to really light you up, all of a sudden start to feel heavy. On paper, your life might be perfect. You've got great success, everything is working for you, and still you ask yourself, is this it? As I said, it's a sneaky one, and it's a difficult one because you often ask yourself, well, why am I feeling this and don't I have everything? And it's often also a difficult one to then change. And I know this one very well. I know them all 3 very well, by the way. The first one as well, but the lack of enjoyment. I started my own business, Twin Life Marketing, in 2009. And when I started, my whole purpose was to bring high-level strategic marketing expertise in bite-sized options to small and medium-sized businesses. And very early on in my journey, I learned that there were a lot of women and some men in my position who are highly experienced marketeers, but also were dealing with a young family that were either sitting at home wasting their talents or they were stressed out in the corporate world. So I created in 2009 this hybrid team, although that word didn't exist at the time. And what we did is it was really a win-win-win for everyone. Our clients had access to highly experienced marketing talents. My marketeers that worked with me and for me were able to work from home whenever they wanted. Everything was based on outcomes and on trust. And I truly enjoyed what I was doing. And I was teaching these staff members how to have great work-life balance, because that was a very big topic in my life at the time. So it worked really well, and I was building and it was going well until I think, and I can't even pinpoint the right day anymore or the right year. It was probably 7, 8 years in, when the building was done and we're getting more into the maintenance phase, where my enjoyment started to go away a little bit and I started to become bored. I didn't realize it at the time, but once that creeps in, it's actually the start of it slowly going not in the right direction and making you feel stuck. And what happens then as well, your confidence can go down. And that's my third point. And this is a big one that I speak to so many successful people about. You can have a lot of experience, you can have a lot of success, but a lot of us are still struggling with this internal confidence. And this internal lack of confidence, I should say, can keep us small and can stop us from taking the next step or from putting our hand up. So these are the signs that you might be feeling stuck, or you might be starting to feel stuck. So if any of those resonate with you, if you feel a lack of motivation, put a 1 in the chat. If you feel a lack of enjoyment, put a 2 in the chat. Lack of confidence, put a 3 in the chat. All of them a little bit, please put a 4 in the chat. Or if you're feeling great at the moment, that's fantastic as well. Put a 5 in the chat. And it doesn't matter, because feeling stuck is a positive sign. It's not something bad that's happening to you. It means that you are ready to grow. It means that you're ready to level up. It means that you're ready to change. So think about a baby. In their first year, they have these moments where they become restless, they start not to sleep, they get a bit grumpy. And what happens after that? They make a growth spurt. So it's very similar to us. Thank you for sharing, by the way. I see a 1, I see a 5, which is fantastic. Again, even when you are not stuck at the moment, it doesn't matter, because once you recognize these signs and know how to work through it, we'll make sure you're not going to get stuck. So before I'm going to share my 5 empowering strategies with you, I am going to take you through 3 foundational pillars that underpin all of this. And the first one is that everything starts and finishes with you. Stuckness, progress, it starts and finishes with you. Yes, I do understand that there might be external circumstances, maybe less than ideal external circumstances. However, there's always something that you can do. You always have the opportunity to make a choice. Instead of pointing the finger at the economy or at my colleagues or my clients or whatever it is, the weather, it is great to take responsibility back and think about everything starts and finishes with you. Now, recently, we've had a bit of a hiccup, all of us, that has thrown us out, and that has been all the lockdowns in COVID. And of course, some industries were hit worse than other industries. But I think there was one group that was hit really badly, and that was actually school-age children. Now, I have twin boys, and they went to high school the year that COVID started. Obviously not a great situation. All of a sudden, they're sitting at home. The school wasn't very organized. They only needed to do schoolwork about 1 hour a day. Luckily, their taekwondo school was a little bit more organized, so they immediately started doing video classes online. However, they had a lot of extra time. And what happened? They got bored. And I saw it happen, and I thought, this is actually really good, because I know that boredom creates creativity. So although the situation wasn't positive, it gave them the opportunity to go inside and to really sit in that boredom and find out what they really wanted to do. Now, one of my sons decided that he wanted to start making chef's knives. And I went, oh, are you real? Are you for real? Anyway, I obviously was like, okay, if that's what you want to do, let's do it. Now, fast forward 4 years later, he's actually been able to build a really successful business around this, having customers all over the world with almost zero marketing budget. I mean, that's a story for another time, but he's been able to find something that really is who he is. And my other son found out that he really was interested in making watches. So he's really taking steps in that business as well. So no matter what the outside situation is, everything always starts and finishes with you. I personally had a situation in 2008. In that financial crisis, I was working in the travel industry, leading a global marketing and sales team, enjoying it. I had 15-month-old twins, huge mortgage, and I was made redundant because obviously the travel industry was hit very badly. The good thing was, though, I mean, the bad thing was all of a sudden I was home. I only could work 3 days a week. I knew there was at the time no high-level marketing jobs available, but it was my permission slip. It was my ticket to start my own business. So I have a question for you, and reflect on this. Where in your business or in your career journey can you take more responsibility? Think about that. The second foundational pillar is about aligning your external and your internal world. Now, this is a really big one. We live in two worlds. We live in the world above the surface, which is about the doing, and below the surface, which is about how we feel about things, how we experience things. So let me give you a very simple example. You are participating in this masterclass. That's what you're doing. However, while you're doing that, there's things going on in your feeling body. Your internal voice might be saying, oh, I'm enjoying this, or this really resonates, or oh, I'm triggered, or you might still be worried about things that you were doing this morning. So we have these two different worlds. And how does this work from a business perspective? When we talk about growing a business or solving a problem, or even growing your career, we look at three things. We look at your strategy, deciding what you're going to do, making decisions. Then we look at your brand, and this is your behavior. You don't need to be a marketeer to think about your brand. If you are a person and you interact with people, it means you are communicating, you are behaving, so you are a brand. It's what people say about you when you leave the room. And then it's about taking action, making sure that what we decided and how we decide we want to be, we're also going to take an action. Now, when you work on your strategy and you make decisions, what we often do, or what we always do, most of the time, that's how our world works, is we use data and we look at data from the past, and then we try to make decisions about the future. And it's logic and it's rational thinking. Now, there's another element that is really key that we often forget about, and that's our intuition. And what is our intuition? It's our wisdom. It's that internal knowing. It's even the creativity that flows through us. Sometimes we get these creative ideas and we don't even know where it's coming from. It's our intuition. Now, let me give you an example. A couple of weeks ago, I was working with a client and we were working on strategy, and we were working on definition of target market. Who are we going to focus on? And my client says to me, I think I want to work with young female entrepreneurs. That's my target market. And we were talking a little bit more, and I felt that something didn't sit right. And I said to her, hey, Jenny, this it feels like something doesn't sit right with you. And then she said, Sonia, you are absolutely right. I said that I wanted to work with young female entrepreneurs. However, because I thought that that's what you do in marketing, you really focus. But I also really enjoy working with male young entrepreneurs. But she said, that's not what I should be doing from a marketing perspective. And I said, stop. Let's put the marketing theory aside. This is all about you. And this is really about your strategy. So imagine if we would have ignored that intuition and wouldn't have put that into the strategy, the outcome would be completely different. I just want to quickly double check because I've got some building words going on. Is it disturbing? If it's disturbing, can you please put a 1 in the chat? Otherwise, I'll just keep going. So the second one is your brand. And as I said before, it's your behavior. And underneath that behavior sits your confidence or your energy. You can see whether someone is behaving in a way that's really aligned with them or not. And for those of you who are familiar with Simon Sinek and the Golden Circle, something I always use. And he talks about how great leaders create great impact. Now, in the Golden Circle, he talks about the what, the why, and the how. Now, thank you for confirmation that it's all good. The what is what you do, and it sits in the logical part of our brain, which is our neocortex. The why and the how sits in our limbic part of the brain, and it's where our emotions sit, and it's also where our decision making sits. So you can imagine whenever we make a choice, what we actually do, although we might not realize it, we make a choice from the limbic part of the brain, and then we try to justify it with the logical side of the brain. So, for example, why would I buy that pair of jeans that is 3 times more the price than another pair of jeans just because it has a certain brand on there? It's the why and the how. It's because I'm attached to whatever that image is of that brand, that the feeling it gives to me. It's not. And then I try to rationalize it for myself with, oh yeah, but it's quality and it's whatever it is. That's how it works. So looking at this masterclass, the what is doing this masterclass, but the why for me is not the masterclass. It's about a topic that is extremely close to my heart because I know how it feels to feel stuck. And I know that I've had a lot of trial and error, and I learned how to move through this stuckness. And I know that when I work with clients, when they're growing, there's always moments of stuckness, whether you like it or not. And when I teach them and show them how to move through that, it has a profound impact on their lives, as it has had on my life. And I really want to share this with more people and make it more accessible. Hence, that's the how I'm doing it via a masterclass on LinkedIn. So that's your brand. And then your last one is taking action. So you can take action on the surface level because you're either going to get a reward or you're going to get a punishment. You do it because you need to make money, or you do it because you want to be accepted by the people around you. However, there's a deeper motivation underneath all of this, and this is a motivation that comes from inside of you, and it's called intrinsic motivation. It comes from Deci and Ryan and the self-determination theory. And intrinsic motivation is sustainable and it's lasting. So there's 3 elements that really make up this intrinsic motivation. And the first one is autonomy. I make choices. I am in control. It starts and finishes with you. The second one is I feel that I am contributing. I feel valued. And the third one is I feel part of something bigger than myself. It's that relatedness, that connection with others. So that's your intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation is something that you do no matter what. So when I speak to a prospective client and they say, I just want to grow my business because I want to make more money, I know it's extrinsic motivation. It's not sustainable. It's not long lasting. Whereas if I speak to someone and go, I've got this purpose, I want to make this change, I want to make this impact, I can feel that it's coming from inside of them. Now, in the ideal world, our outside world and our inside world are beautifully aligned, and we feel exactly the same inside as we are doing outside. However, we are not living in an ideal world. So we've got a barrier in between those two. And when you have a barrier in between those two, your feeling might be a little bit more dimmed, and your doing might be a little bit more dimmed as well. And this barrier, I call this the limitations. And some examples of limitations can be fear of failure. What if I make a mistake? What if people don't like me? And it's the ego that steps in, because every time we try to step out of our comfort zone, we try to stretch ourselves, the ego is there to keep us safe. Second thing is limiting beliefs. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. That voice, I'm not ... enough. They are beliefs. They're not part of you. And then not self is behaving in a way that is not really who you are as a person. However, you behave in a way that maybe people expect of you, or you think people expect of you. And examples of that are being a pleaser, which I know very well, pleasing people, or being a fixer, trying to fix everyone's problems. It's a not self theme. You're doing it because you are trying to look for validation outside of yourself, which obviously brings your confidence down. And then there's sabotaging behavior. You know you need to do A to get to B, but you're still not doing it. You still do C. You know you need to get up early in the morning. You put your alarm to go to the gym to have a workout. And when your alarm goes up, you push that snooze button and you just don't get out of bed. There's something underneath of that. Now, the beautiful thing with these limitations are not you. We often identify with these limitations. But when I learned that these limitations are not you, and I learned how to basically let go of them, and I'll share something that you can do in the empowering strategies, it really had a huge impact on me. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. So who is ready to get a little bit more practical? Give me a yes if you're ready to go into the practical tools of things that you can do. Because I like to share with you 5 empowering strategies, very simple, very easy, that you can use to navigate stuckness if it comes up, or if you're not stuck at the moment, to make sure that you won't go there and you make progress even faster. So the first strategy I'm going to share with you is get to know yourself. Now, what does that mean? How do you get to know another person? What do? You spend time with them. You ask them questions. You listen. And you give them attention. Now, when do we ever do this for ourselves? And I'm not talking about spending time on your phone, spending time in front of the TV, being distracted, because these distractions become addictions. We are living in such a busy world, and we are not used to spending time with ourselves without distractions. That's why silent retreats are so difficult. And I've done them, believe me, because all of a sudden you've got no choice and you're stuck there with yourself and with your inner voice. That can become very loud. So obviously I'm not going to give you such an extreme thing to do, but what I invite you to do is to give yourself 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes of attention where you get to know yourself better. And you can choose what you want to do. I'll give you a couple of examples. It could be a walk in nature for 5 minutes. It could be a simple cup of coffee, sitting on your couch or sitting at your table, enjoying a cup of coffee. My preference, what I personally love, is I love writing. So I've got a gratitude journal that I write in every morning, which is my me time, because it's me processing and it's me getting to know myself better. And what you can do is you can start to ask yourself questions. What do I really enjoy? What do I value? What puts a smile on my face? What puts me in the flow? And the answers might come. It might take a little bit of time, and that's okay. There's no pushing. And if you find it hard to answer these questions, think about moments in your life when you were really on top of the world, in your business life, in your personal life. Spend this time with yourself. And if you're really brave, look at yourself in the mirror for 5 minutes. That's a difficult exercise. The really big question to ask is, what would I do if I really loved myself? That's a question to ponder over in your 5 minutes. When you get to know yourself, a really important element is to then also completely, unconditionally accept yourself and be okay with whatever you discover and value yourself. I learned a while back now that I learned this via a methodology that I use, which is human design, that I have a 3-line and a 5-line in my profile. And my 3-line is the line of trial and error. My role here is to do a lot of trial and error. That's how I learn. And then I can step into my 5 role, which is the visionary guide. Now, I love the visionary guide role because it really makes me really happy. But the trial and error role, when I first found out about it, it took me a bit to accept that. And I went, I'm not so sure about this. However, acceptance is a big part of this. Let me know if this resonates with you. Put a 1 in the chat if this resonates. And let's move on to strategy number 2. Let go of your limitations. Now, we spoke about the limitations as that barrier between our external world and our internal world. But when I learned that these limitations are not yours and that you can actually do something about it, everything truly changed. Now, obviously, I cannot give you a practical, quick tip that can help you let go of all your limitations that you built up throughout your life. And a methodology that I use for that is newer emotional integration. And it's a very easy and friendly, practical, actually, way to discover and to release hidden limitations that you might not even be aware of. However, there's something that you can do today that can help you get rid of the limitations that you might experience today. So let me give you an example. While you're going through your day, this is something that happened to me this morning. I had a feeling come up. My inner voice was like, when I was thinking and preparing for this masterclass, I'm not good enough. And I know this one very well, and it comes up sometimes. And what you simply do when something comes up, when a limitation comes up, when fear comes up, or when I'm not good enough comes up, you stop, you give it attention, and then you let it go. So let me demonstrate this to you and what I did. So I'm not good enough. I see you. I'm not good enough. I acknowledge you. I'm not good enough. I thank you. I'm not good enough. You're not part of me. And I'm not good enough. I simply let you go. And then it moves. You can then let go of your limitation. And how do I know that this works? Because what you're simply doing is you're putting it in the spotlight. You're becoming aware. And awareness is 90% of your transformation. Because once you are aware, you are able to make a different choice. Number 3, intuition. We spoke about this. Learn to trust your intuition. Now, why is it so difficult to, first of all, listening to our intuition and then trusting our intuition? Our intuition is, compared to our rational mind, which is here, is very loud and always there. Whereas our intuition is far more quiet, and it sometimes whispers, and the messages can come in different forms. Sometimes it's words, sometimes it might be pictures you see, it might be feelings, or sometimes it's very loud and very short. In my case, I've got a very strong yes-no gut feel, because I've got a defined sacral. So I immediately, when I have a question, I immediately know yes or no. However, it's only very short. And then straight away, my rational thinking takes over. So in the early days of Twin Life Marketing, when I was recruiting for staff members, I would purely recruit on intuition. I would shake someone's hand and I would know straight away, yes or no. I still did the interview just for the form. However, I had already made up my mind. And then one day I thought, well, Sonia, this isn't very professional. You can't just keep doing this. Your business is growing, so you need to have a more professional program and process. And I set up this process with all these questions. And what I did was I shook someone's hand and then I let go of that intuition and I did the process. And you know what happened? I made bad hiring mistakes because I didn't trust my intuition anymore. So trusting that intuition and listening is not easy, because first of all, we have to listen carefully. And then secondly, we have to be able to receive, because if we're closed off, if we're just in our heads and we not give ourselves that opportunity to fully receive, we can't even hear it. So you might ask yourself, so how do I then tap into that intuition? Now, again, this is a very simple thing you can do. Your intuition speaks to you through your body. So it means that your body needs to be relaxed. If you're in here, all your energy is here, you cannot listen to your intuition. So what you got to do is you got to bring your energy down from your head into your body. And all you have to do, and you can do this anywhere, anytime, even when you're in a meeting, is simply put both of your feet on the floor, focus on your feet, and take a few deep breaths. Focus on your body and focus on deepening and sitting into your body. Then you feel that you relax, and then your intuition has the opportunity to come through. Now, then you still have to have the guts to act, because we can listen to the intuition, but sometimes it's still very difficult to act. Now, the other week, I was talking to one of my clients in Europe, and she actually has a very strong intuition. And she was telling me that, Sonia, she says, I often know before I do any thinking which way I have to go in my work. But she said it's very difficult because I'm in an academic environment, and I can't just say to my colleagues that it's just a gut feeling, because everything needs to be logic and reasoning. So I said to her, I get you. I said to her, but the way you can do this is listen to your intuition, don't ignore it, write it down, hold on to that. Don't immediately go to your colleagues and talk about it, but take your time to come up with the reasoning behind it. think back to the golden circle. Your intuition is your why. It's your emotions talking. It's your limbic brain. And then once you have a little bit of time, you can find the logic behind it and then act on it. So that's your intuition. Strategy number 4, your confidence. Don't we all like to have a little bit more confidence? So obviously, first of all, talking again about the aligning of the internal and the external world. If someone is saying something that is truly aligned with who they are, you feel that confidence in them. They don't even need to speak perfectly. However, if someone is talking about theory or things they don't even understand or don't even believe in themselves, we as people who are listening, we feel that something is off. So what you feel is exactly what other people feel about you. However, you can still be very, very in tune with what you've got to offer. However, we all have sometimes difficult situations that we have to deal with. For example, giving a presentation or having a difficult conversation with someone. And those are times where you probably can do it a little confidence boost. Now, I'm absolutely not a fan of fake it till you make it, but this little confidence boost that only takes you 2 minutes is really, really powerful. And thankfully to the beautiful work of Amy Cuddy from Harvard University, and it's called power posing. So what Amy Cuddy did is Amy Cuddy researched body language. And what she found was that people who make themselves big, whether they're sitting, whether they're standing, they ooze more confidence. Whereas people who make themselves small, their confidence level goes down. Now, we probably all understand that. But what's more interesting is that even if your confidence isn't that high, as I said, you have to go into that difficult conversation. If you power pose for 2 minutes, so you stand like a winner, your arms up or your hands on your hips, and you make yourself big, 2 minutes, what happens physically in your body? Your testosterone, so your confidence level goes up by 20%, and your cortisol, your stress hormone, goes down by 25%. You feel better, you feel stronger. Such a great trick. I teach it to all my clients. I do it myself. And the other thing is also, if you sit like a small person, your testosterone goes down by 10% and your cortisol, so your stress goes up by 15%. So power posing is a very simple way to bring your confidence to the forefront. And then the 5th strategy is about progress. Now, we spoke about focusing on progress instead of focusing on outcomes. When you focus on outcomes, you can create a lot of fear, a lot of stress. When you focus on outcomes, you might not enjoy the journey towards the outcome. When you purely focus on outcomes, you might not even get a better outcome because you're not open. And the worst thing is, when you focus on outcomes, you get there, you're happy for 5 minutes, and then you go, what's next? You're not in control of outcomes, although progress is something you can wire in and you can celebrate each and every day. So the other week, one of my clients was nominated for an industry award, and it happened to one of her clients. And it was a really nice surprise. So we went through this process of working through the nomination. And one of the elements of the nomination was that she had to do a video of herself presenting in front of the camera. And this was not mandatory. However, I said to her, listen, this is perfect. We've done your personal branding. You know, we've done the first step. Couldn't be coming at a better time. Now, my client is extremely confident, presents extremely well. She was struggling with this. She couldn't make it work. A lot of blockages were coming up. She was sending me messages, I'm crap at this. I don't understand how people do this. Now, the good thing was we had a mentoring session coming up. And I was like, okay, let's get this done. So I guided her through recording the video, editing the video. It was difficult for her. It was stepping out of her comfort zone. Fear was coming in. I'm not good enough. We managed through it. We did it actually within an hour, which was amazing. And I said to her, this is your win. Doesn't matter what's going to happen with the awards, whether you win or not, it's not important. This is your progress. This is your biggest win. You can wire this in. We have no control of the outcome, but we can really celebrate your progress today. So what you can do for yourself to wire in this daily progress is to write down for yourself, whether you do that in your head, whether you do that on your phone. I, again, use my journal for this. What's my biggest win today? What's my biggest learning? And what am I most proud of? This gives you the opportunity each and every day to stop on your climb, on your progress that you're making, to stop, look back over your shoulder and enjoy the view. This is so important because the more you win, the more you'll be winning. The more you're thankful, the more you have to be thankful for. And the more you make progress, the more you'll be making progress. So these are the 5 strategies that I'd like you to take with you. Don't start with them all at once. I like you to think about 1 or maybe 2, because I like to start small and wire something in and keep it very practical. Pick one of them, and it doesn't matter which one. You don't have to start with number 1. Pick one of them that resonates most with you, and share it in the chat if you like to. And I challenge you, or I invite you to do this one for the next 7 days, 14 days, 28 days. And I promise you, your life will get better. Your business will get stronger. You will feel more aligned. You will feel more confident. You will feel more joy. You will feel less stuck. You will move forward more. Yes, so this is a really great start. Now, obviously, if you want to go deeper, if you want to go faster, if you want to go bigger, I'm here to help you. I work with people one-on-one, and I also have a small group. However, I also said to you in the beginning that I have a gift for you. And this is a genuine gift from me to you. No matter whether you have any intention of working with me or not, if you feel that this resonates with you and you want to go a little bit more into your own personal situation, there is a free 30-minute growth mentoring session that I want to offer you, where you and I will go into your personal situation and I'll help you what the next step is for you. So as I said before, it's a genuine gift from me to you. If you're interested, DM me on LinkedIn. And if you're not connected with me on LinkedIn yet, please do connect with me. And thank you for the comments. Step 5, great one. Step 4, step 5, starting with step 4, finishing with step 5. That's great. Before we finish off, I want to thank you for joining me. And I would like to ask you, what was the one aha moment in this session for you? Share it. Please share it in the chat. I love to see. And another one starting with 4 and finishing with 5. And I also would love to hear how you're going. So please do send me a message on LinkedIn.